Shalom, this is Gabash Ban Yasharala, and before I hop to today's lesson, I want to give all honor, glory, and praises to the Most High in the name of His Son, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, in the true Hebrew tongue. Ka, Halayim, La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ha, Rakah, Kodash, Ma'amath. I want to give double honor to the apostles and elders of GMS who rule well and teach well. I want to give double honor to my elder as well, Ahara Ban Yasharala of the Lions Den Camp here in Jacksonville, Florida. And I want to say shalom to the Akim around the four corners of the globe, pushing this truth with sincerity. And with that being said, this is going to be a lesson in regarding to maintaining a locked-in mentality. And this lesson came to my la'ab yesterday in the midst of me at a new occupation of mine that I took on recently in regards to one of my hobbies. It's not like an actual job. I'll say it's more so an occupation. I'm not going to give too much detail of it, but in the midst of me partaking in this occupation, I'm sitting there thinking, it dawned on me that there's a difference between being focused and being locked in. And so as far as this lesson goes, we're to make, you could be focused or you could be locked in. But when it comes to serving Yahweh Shai, we're to be locked in. We can't just be focused on that. And I have the definition of focused and locked in according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary. So we're going to start off with definition of focus, which is a center of activity, attraction, or attention. I think I read that right. A center of activity, attraction, or attention being the definition of focus. So you can be focused on something. It can have you could be focused on something, but that don't mean that you're actively participating. That doesn't mean that you could be focused from the sidelines, so to speak. But you're not, that doesn't mean you're putting in the work. That doesn't mean you're doing what you're supposed to do, But like I said, that's why we're to be in the locked in mindset. And definition of locked in is to not subject to adjustment. So we're to be locked in the spirit of Yahweh Yahweh Shai. Nothing should be able to, we actively walking the walk. We're striving for truth until death. Nothing can steal our focus. Because you can be focused on something and something will steal your attention away from it. You watching the game, you hear some noise in the background. And something on the, some miscellaneous affairs can steal your focus. But if you're locked in, you're tuning the rest of the world out. You're focused on whatever has your attention. So we're to be in a locked in mindset. Because we can't allow our mindsets to stray away from Yahweh Yahweh Shai. And this first precept that I have is 2 Peter 1:10. Wherefore the rather, brethren, give diligence to make your calling and election sure. For if ye do these things, ye shall never fall. So we have to be locked in to Yahweh Yahweh Shai through the Spirit. That's how we make our calling and election sure. We're to serve the Lord diligently. And I also have the definition of diligence according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, which is a steady, earnest, and energetic effort. So we have to be locked in to give that steady, earnest, and energetic effort to Yahweh Yahweh Shai. Because that's how we make our calling and election sure. If we're doing the work, we locked in, can't nothing steal our focus away from the work. Or nothing take our mindset off of that path that we're walking. And you're focused on your walk, you won't never fall. You're aware of the traps, snares, temptations, and everything else meant to steal you away from Yahweh Yahweh Shai. You're focused on His wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. There won't be anything able to pull you away from that love, that hedge of protection. So we're to serve the Lord diligently in a locked-in mindset. This is how we make our calling and election sure. We were called out of this world and into the spirit of Yahweh Yahweh Shai. We had a spiritual calling and a spiritual purpose. There's nothing in this world that comes before that. Yahweh Yahweh Shai is our primary objective. Anything else is secondary. If it was Call of Duty, it'd be a miscellaneous objective. You can complete the mission without completing these miscellaneous objectives. Because our primary objective is doing the things commanded of us of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. Being to teach, study, listen, hear, watch. Anything this world calls us to do is secondary. Like our jobs, families, this, that, and the third. Because if a man's ways are pleasing to the Lord, he'll make the Lord make you prosperous in all your ways. 2 Peter 3:10. But the day of the Lord will come as a thief in the night, in the which the heavens shall pass away with a great noise, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat, and the earth also and the works that are therein shall be burnt up. Seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, looking forward and hasting unto the coming of the day of Yahweh, wherein the heavens being on fire, shall be dissolved, and the elements shall melt with fervent heat. So Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai is going to bring judgment upon this world, and ultimately he's going to return as a thief in the night. Nobody knows when he's coming back. So we're to be locked in. Again, not subject to adjustment. Our faith can't be wavering. We can't be all for the Lord one day and then halfway stepping the next day. We're striving to the best of our ability, day in and day out. And some days we might not be able to give our full attention to the Lord, you know. We might not be able to sit down and study how we want and do all the things that we want to do for the Lord. But it's the effort that has to be at 100%. Because he's returning as a thief in the night. And if our faith is wavering, he gonna catch you lacking. So like I said, you could be focused. You can have the Lord on your mind. But if you're not locked in, that's not good enough. And then what manner of persons ought we to be in holy conversation and godliness? So we're to be in a holy behavior and in a righteous state of mind, separate from this world. Our behavior can't be of this world. You can be focused on Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, but if you're moving according to this world, you're actively being disobedient. You putting off, being slothful, getting distracted. All these things, that's not good. That's not going to cut it. We're looking for a hasting unto the coming of the day of the Lord. So we're to be locked in, watching for prophecy to come to pass, warning the people, doing these lessons, edifying the people, feeding Yahweh Shai's sheep. Because that's how we hasten the days, by doing this work. And we got to be locked in and doing this work. Because this place has a judgment coming, and we're trying to escape that judgment through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. So we had to be locked in spiritually. 2 Peter 3:13. Nevertheless, we, according to his promise, look for new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness. Wherefore, beloved, seeing that ye look for such things, be diligent that ye may be found of him in peace, without spot and blameless. So not only are we to watch for the things to pass, doing this work, we're to watch over ourselves spiritually. Examine ourselves through the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. We're looking for a new heaven and earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, but we have to make sure we're worthy to inherit that. Make sure our faith and our works will justify us. Because we want to be found without spot and blameless. We want to obtain the peace, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, that love. We don't want to feel his wrath and indignation. But we have to be cleansing ourselves through the word day in and day out. Like a woman, because we're Yahweh Shai's woman. So we're to spend time with him every day. However we got to do it, whatever we can do for the Lord. If your regular study routine gets interrupted, you got to improvise. There's no excuse. You stuck riding in the car all day, you should be bumping lessons in there. Don't just be bumping your trap music, whatever it is you listen to. You gotta. There's so much we can do out here to serve the Lord. If you like to read, and you can't get to your Bible. You can play the audio Bible. There's no excuse. As a man, there is no excuse out here for you to not be serving the Lord in truth and sincerity. Because if you sincerely love the Lord, you make time to spend with him. If you're that's the locked in. Because you could be focused on the Lord. You'll have the Lord on your mind. But if you locked in, you going to make a way. You going to make it happen. Because you can't, our physical might get interrupted, but that spiritual can't get interrupted. And again, the definition of locked in is not subject to adjustment. So our faith and our works in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai can't be adjusted. So if you got to leave your comfort zone to serve Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, get her done. Because we're maintaining a locked in mentality. Because ultimately our end goal is to obtain the salvation of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. And our work should show forth that regardless of whatever our living situation is, financial, transportation, whatever. We can't get entangled in carnal affairs. That's how we please him who chose us to be a soldier. But that's pretty much all I had. So Yahweh Rock the Zah, this lesson was edifying. And until the next time, I'm going to say shalom.